everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another Rumour Has It video where we're talking about players linked to the club in the coming window. The winter window may be shut, but the summer window is definitely on the horizon. And Newcastle and I had sounded they're looking at new players for that window in the summer, looking to address some of the holes in the squad. So we're going to get stuck into a player right now. Just before we do, a little reminder, if you haven't already, please click the like and subscribe button. We'd love you to come and join us. We're over 2,500 subs now, so massively appreciate that. All free content here. Smash a button, 2 weekly shows, Mondays and Wednesdays, and pop videos just like the one we're going to talk about now. So we're talking about a midfielder. We're definitely threadbare on those for certain since John Joe Shelby has moved on to Nottingham Forest. Bruno's suspension and Willock's injury has definitely showed a hole in that midfield, which I think Eddie Howe was already keen to strengthen. So there is links to players all over the place, week in, week out. There's loads of talk about a huge number 6, whether that's true or false. But there is a player we have been linked to in the last few days, and it's this player right here. That is Daichi Kamada. So he's a Japanese midfielder, plays for Frankfurt over in the Bundesliga, a very, very talented footballer. Played 4 games in the World Cup just gone, including notable wins against Germany and Spain. He was in those teams. What is he like as a player? We're going to go through stats in a minute, but as a player, he's got very good control, very close control. Moves the ball really, really well, carries the ball out. He's played in a deep line position for Frankfurt for quite a lot of the season, like 17 games out of his 28. He's played in a kind of a deeper line midfielder role, which probably makes him really appealing to the club because he looks like he can kind of, fluidly move in amongst that midfield. He could be a 6, he could be an 8. With very much like Bruno, to be fair, which is why Mark's probably compared him to Bruno in the radar. But he uses the ball very, very well. He's a good finisher, as you can see there. He's got 13 goals in 28 games, so way more than any of our midfielders managed to muster this season, and our strikers for that matter. So he is very clinical when he gets into position, as Mark showed you there. He's good from range, his long shots, his free kicks, his passing is very good as well. Looking at his kind of statistics per 90 minutes, you can see his goals and assists are right up there. With 4 assists and 13 goals for 28 games is a phenomenal figure. The Bundesliga is no Mickey Mouse league either. It's a tough league. There's some real hard bastards in there as well. And for Kamada to stand out, in a team, also in a league that's dominated by some real top players, like in Munich and Dortmund, and Leipzig, he's really doing well at a stand-up in the 99th percentile, 90th percentile against some real top players around Europe. One of the appealing things about Daichi Kamada is that he's out of contract in June. So, the transfer guru that is Fabrizio Romano has already said that a decision will be made on the player very soon. We're sitting in February now, so it's probably going to be the next maybe 2 to 3, 4 months. He'll make a decision, but there's loads of interest in the player, apparently from England. Obviously, Newcastle United are in there. He's got interest in the Bundesliga as well, Italy, France. So there's lots of teams that will be interested in this player because, he's done it at the top level. He's done it, in the Bundesliga. He's done it in Europe. He's done it at World Cup level as well. So he's a really talented footballer, 26 years old. His peak years are ahead of him. But I really can see him coming to the Premier League. Now, Arsenal were credited with interest before the World Cup. I don't know whether that's cooled a bit since the sound of the likes of Trossard and players like that. But, he really fits the bill for us. He's that type of a player as well that, I think that it's been recently mentioned, PK mentioned it tonight on Evermore, that the journalists are saying we're not after 60, 70 million pound superstars. We don't want to go and spend 115 million on Enzo Fernandez like Chelsea did. We're looking for good bargains like Bruno Guimaraes, like Botman, players like that where we can bring them in, even Trippier as well, the 12 million we got Trippier for, bringing in these players at good market values as well and players that can improve the squad. I definitely think Daichi Kamada can improve the squad. Now, what it would mean for the synergy in the midfield, I don't know. With him and Bruno being quite similar in terms of being able to go forward with the ball, Kamada looks like he's got a bit more of an instinctive goal scoring instinct than Bruno has. I mean, Bruno's done amazingly well, scored loads of goals. But you can see from the radar there, Bruno's goals are dried up, and then obviously Kamada's way ahead of him in the goals and assist front in terms of that attacking threat. Maybe Kamada could offer you a bit more going forward than Dan Willock has and Longstaff has. I know Sean banged in the 2 goals against Southampton, but, Kamada looks a lot more clinical in that position. And if we're going to have European football next season, which I think we will do, whether it's Champions League or Europa, we're going to need to have more depth in the squad, certainly in this midfield area. But you can see how he compares. I mean, Bruno compares, it's streets ahead of him in terms of tackling and interceptions and recoveries. But Bruno is a unique player. He seems to be a 6 and an 8 rolled into one, whereas I think Kamada can do the 6 roll, but he maybe can't do as well as Bruno, but he can maybe do the 8 roll a bit better than Bruno. So yeah, I think this is a fantastic player that would really add something to the Newcastle United squad. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you think that Kamada would be a good addition to the squad. One thing is for sure, but definitely threadbare in that area. There's no doubt about that in my mind. That's why we were probably looking for Conor Gallagher, but at 40 odd million quid or whatever they wanted for Conor Gallagher, he's a lot of money. Same with James Maddison. You're talking 50, 60 million quid. With FFP being so tight and the club being so conscientious about it, it's not the kind of thing that they're going to want to be doing. Maybe someone like Kamada at a knockdown price. I think his market value is around about 30 odd million euro. He's coming to the end of his contract. If, Frankfurt trying to get anything for him, you could even be 10, 12 million or a free transfer. But this could be a really good bit of business. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We always appreciate what you got to say. We always try our best to engage with you. As I mentioned at the start, if you haven't, please consider clicking that subscribe button and like the video. Help get it around YouTube. Really helps the channel grow. This is Chris signing off. Let's keep supporting that team of Core United. We'll be back with some more transfer banter soon, and we'll catch you later. Cheers.